Hello everybody, this is a project I've been working on for quite a while. If you're watching this video, you probably already have an understanding of the concepts behind this project, either because I explained it to you or because you read something I wrote about it. So the scope of this video is simply to show off the program itself. The program is written in Python 3.2 and it uses the Pygame module for rendering the graphics. There are multiple versions of this program, and the one I'm showing you now is the shortest at 325 lines of code. All of the versions create cylindrical worlds. However, the other versions use an algorithm to create a procedurally generated world that looks more realistic but is not necessarily more scientifically valuable. So this version simply creates an elliptical continent of specified dimensions in the center of the world, and that can create more meaningful results. Now I'm going to show you the actual interface. So right here we have the graphics interface, and then we have the console right here. This world that I've prepared has only gotten to iteration 7. Normally a world would go up to iteration 10 or so. As you can see in the console, the average technology value for this world is 194. That doesn't really have a real world equivalent. That's just useful for comparing to other worlds relatively. So the coloration of this continent might look strange. Basically, the way it works is the color of a tile is a function of its technology value versus the highest technology value in the world currently. The brighter the tile, the closer it is to the highest value. As you can see, this region towards the center is the most advanced region in the world, and then this region over here to the edge is a lot more gray, and therefore it's a lot less advanced. I can press a key and this will give me various details on the tile I've pressed it on, and it'll also draw these yellow lines to represent connections. So when I click on a tile, it draws these lines to all the tiles that it's connected to. Another thing I can do is highlight all the tiles that share a random technology, and that's useful because with this I can see exactly how a technology might spread, and as you can see, they spread in these horizontal elliptical patterns, which is what I want. So now here's a world that's gotten all the way to iteration 10, and as you can see in the console, its average technology value is 2,702. Which indicates that the average technology value of a world grows exponentially each iteration. If we just look at the connections on tiles for this one, you can see that the tiles are generally connected to every other tile in the continent because the world has gotten much more advanced. You can even see some of the connections on the edge, or some of the tiles on the edge will actually connect to tiles on the other side wrapping around. And then if you look at some spreads of technologies, you can see that they generally spread much farther because now the people are just much more developed. Now we can compare this world to another world that's gotten to iteration 10, except it's vertical, as you can see. It's the exact same area as the horizontal continent, it's just vertical. And its average technology value is 2,590, which is slightly lower. And we can look at the connections for it. They're quite similar, except now sometimes a tile on one edge might not actually be able to connect to a tile on the other edge, and that shows with the spread of the technologies as well. It's more often than not they will not spread to the other side, which is much different than the horizontal continents that we looked at earlier. Now the results the program generates are stochastic, so you'd really have to run it over and over in order to get meaningful results. Thankfully that process can be automated. I'm able to tell it to run the program over and over automatically and save the results, and I can tell it every time you run, change variable a little bit, and I can use that to create various graphs. Looking at the code, we can see some of the parameters that I've set up. For one, I'm able to change the dimensions of the ellipse, which is perhaps the most important. There are simulation-based parameters like tech chance, which allows me to manipulate the likelihood of a person to create a new technology, and then education mod, which states the effect of a tile's technology value on that chance. There are other variables like these two, which allow me to change the preference for a person to want to travel a certain distance, north to south or east to west. And there's a variable here which allows me to change the distance that these connections are able to travel. So that's all for this video. If you have any questions or comments, those are certainly appreciated, and thanks for watching.